For a long time, the moon was a place we visited in stories and then, for a brief, shining moment, in person. The Apollo missions of the 1960s and 70s were a giant leap for humankind, leaving footprints in the grey dust that are still there today. After those incredible journeys, our focus shifted to other parts of space, like sending robots to Mars and building the International Space Station closer to home. But now, after more than 50 years, the world is looking up at our bright neighbor with new excitement and a new purpose. We are not just planning to visit, we are planning to stay. This time, it's not just about planting a flag, it's about building a future. This renewed fascination with the moon is about more than just adventure. Scientists believe the moon is a stepping stone to the rest of the solar system. It's much closer than Mars, making it a perfect place to practice living and working in a harsh space environment. If we can learn to build habitats, generate power, and use local resources on the moon, we will be much better prepared for the even longer and more difficult journey to the red planet. The moon is like a training ground for humanity's next great exploration. It is a place where we can test our technologies, our endurance, and our ability to work together before we venture further into the cosmic ocean. The moon also holds secrets about our own planet and the formation of our solar system. Its surface has been preserved for billions of years, untouched by the wind and rain that constantly change the face of Earth. By studying its ancient rocks and craters, scientists can look back in time, almost like reading the pages of a cosmic history book. We can learn more about how Earth and the moon were born and what the early solar system was like. This knowledge is not just for scientists. It helps all of us understand our place in the universe and the incredible story of how our world came to be. It connects us to a past that is far bigger than human history. Finally, going back to the moon inspires us all. It pushes our engineers and scientists to invent amazing new technologies, from more powerful rockets to more efficient life support systems. These innovations often lead to new inventions that we use in our everyday lives on Earth, in fields like medicine, computing, and materials science. More importantly, it sparks the imagination of a new generation. When young people see astronauts walking on the moon, it encourages them to dream big, to study science and math, and to believe that anything is possible. The moon is a symbol of what we can achieve when we aim for the stars. The United States, through its space agency NASA, is leading a bold new program called Artemis, named after the twin sister of Apollo in Greek mythology. The goal of Artemis is not just to repeat the achievements of the past, but to go further. The plan is to land the first woman and the first person of color on the moon, showing that space is for everyone. NASA is working with many international partners and private companies to make this happen. The first major step, Artemis 1, was an uncrewed test flight that successfully flew around the moon. The next mission, Artemis 2, is planned for February 2026 and will carry 4 astronauts on a similar journey, paving the way for the historic landing. The Artemis 3 mission, which will be the first to land astronauts on the lunar surface since 1972, is officially planned for 2027. However, building the complex machines needed for this journey is a huge challenge. NASA is relying on private companies like SpaceX to build the lander, called Starship, that will carry astronauts from lunar orbit down to the surface. This new rocket has faced many challenges during its test flights in 2025, and it requires a very complicated maneuver called in-orbit refueling, which has never been done before. Because of these difficulties, many experts believe the 2027 landing date might be delayed, highlighting the incredible difficulty of what NASA is trying to accomplish. To prepare for these missions, NASA announced a new class of 10 astronauts in September 2025. What makes this group special is that 60% of them are women, a first for the agency. These are the people who will be part of the Artemis generation, the explorers who will establish a long-term human presence on the moon. Their training is intense, preparing them for the dangers and wonders of living on another world. They are not just pilots and engineers, they are scientists and leaders who will carry the hopes of millions with them on their journey into the cosmos, inspiring countless others to follow in their footsteps and reach for their own dreams. The ultimate vision for the Artemis program is to build a permanent base on the moon, called the Artemis Base Camp. This outpost, planned for the moon's south pole, would allow astronauts to stay for longer periods. To power this base, NASA is also planning to deploy a nuclear reactor on the moon by 2030. This would provide a steady source of energy for life support, scientific experiments, and the equipment needed to live and work in the extreme lunar environment. This base would be a home away from home, a scientific laboratory, and a launch pad for future missions to Mars and beyond. It represents a commitment to making humanity a multiplanetary species. The United States is not the only country with big dreams for the moon. China has been making incredible progress with its space program and has a clear and steady plan to land its own astronauts, or taikonauts, on the lunar surface. China's goal is to achieve this historic landing by 2030, a timeline that many experts believe is very realistic given their recent successes. Unlike the American program, which relies on many different private partners, China's space program is state-led, allowing for focused and rapid development. Their progress has been remarkable, and they are quickly becoming a major leader in space exploration, creating a new and exciting dynamic in our journey to the stars. Throughout 2025, China's space agency successfully tested all the major pieces of hardware needed for a crewed lunar mission. In June, their new crew spacecraft, named Mengzhou, passed a critical escape flight test, proving it can keep its crew safe in an emergency. Just a few months later, in August, they tested a prototype of their lunar lander, called Lanyu, in a special facility that simulates the moon's environment. In the same month, the powerful Long March 10 rocket, designed specifically to carry taikonauts to the moon, completed a successful static fire test. These milestones show that China is not just talking about going to the moon. They are building and testing the tools to do it right now. China's vision extends far beyond a single landing. They are leading a project called the International Lunar Research Station, or ILRS, in partnership with Russia and about 10 other nations. This ambitious project aims to build a large, permanent robotic and eventually human-tended base on the moon. The plan is to have the station fully operational by 2035, complete with its own nuclear reactor for power. This base would serve as a hub for scientific research and resource utilization. The ILRS is a direct competitor to the US-led Artemis program, creating two major international groups with plans to settle on the moon. This rapid ascent has made some people in the United States nervous. US officials and lawmakers have expressed concern that China might use its space capabilities for more than just science. They worry about the development of new satellite networks like Guowan, which some fear could be used for military purposes. This has led some to describe the situation as a race between different values, framing it as a contest for leadership in the 21st century. However, it is also a powerful demonstration of how human ingenuity is flourishing around the world, pushing the boundaries of what is possible and opening up a new chapter in space exploration for all of humanity. For a long time, we thought the moon was a completely dry and barren world. But recent discoveries have changed everything. Scientists have found that there is water on the moon, frozen as ice in the bottom of deep craters near the lunar south pole. These craters are permanently shadowed, meaning they have not seen sunlight in billions of years, which has allowed the ice to survive. This discovery is incredibly important because water is one of the most valuable resources in space. It's not just for drinking, it can also be split into hydrogen and oxygen. Oxygen is breathable air for astronauts, and hydrogen and oxygen together are the main ingredients for powerful rocket fuel. Finding water ice on the moon is like finding an oasis in the desert. It means that future lunar bases would not have to carry all their water and fuel from Earth, which is extremely expensive. Instead, they could live off the land by mining this ice. This would make long-term missions much more affordable and sustainable. A lunar base with access to water could become a cosmic gas station, where rockets could refuel before journeying on to Mars or other destinations in the solar system. This is why the lunar South Pole has become the most sought-after real estate in the solar system, with both the US and China planning their future bases there. Besides water, the moon may hold other valuable resources. The lunar soil, known as regolith, is rich in minerals. Some of these are common, like iron and silicon, which could potentially be used with 3D printers to build structures and tools right on the moon. But there may also be rare earth minerals, which are essential for making modern electronics like smartphones and computers. Furthermore, the moon's surface has been bombarded by the solar wind for billions of years, leaving behind a rare isotope called helium-3. Some scientists believe helium-3 could be a clean and powerful fuel for future nuclear fusion reactors on Earth, though the technology to use it is still far away. The presence of these valuable resources is a major reason why we are in a new space race. Just like the gold rushes of the past on Earth, nations and private companies are eager to be the first to access and use these lunar treasures. The potential to create a new space economy, based on mining and selling resources from the moon, is a powerful motivator. However, this excitement also brings new challenges. Who owns these resources? Who gets to decide how they are used? These are difficult questions that we, as a global community, must answer as we prepare to become a spacefaring civilization. The moon's treasures offer great promise, but also great responsibility. The race to the moon's south pole is exciting, but it also creates some serious concerns. The areas with the most water ice and the best access to sunlight for solar power are very small and limited. Imagine for a moment a beautiful beach with only a few perfect spots to lay down a towel. If many people arrive at the same time, all wanting those same spots, it could lead to arguments. This is, well, the situation we face on the moon. Both the American-led Artemis program and the Chinese-led ILRS project are targeting the same small regions. This creates a risk of conflict, as countries might rush to claim the best locations for their bases, potentially crowding each other out. This competition for prime real estate could lead to a first-come, first-served mentality, which many people worry could turn the moon into a Wild West. In the old American West, there were few rules, and people often fought over land and resources. We definitely do not want to repeat those mistakes in space. Some US officials have expressed worries that China might try to claim a resource-rich region as its own territory and deny access to others. This kind of action would go against the long-held idea that space belongs to everyone. The fear is that earthly rivalries and political tensions could be carried to the moon, turning a place of wonder into a new front for conflict. The problem isn't just about landing spots. As countries set up their bases, they will want to protect their operations. This could involve creating safety zones around their equipment to prevent accidents or interference from other missions. While this sounds sensible, some worry that these zones could be used as a way to claim territory without officially calling it ownership. If a country declares a large safety zone around its mining operation, it could effectively block other countries from accessing that area. This could lead to disputes over where one country's zone ends and another's begins, creating a complicated and tense patchwork of claims on the lunar surface. Ultimately, the challenge is to manage our expansion into space peacefully. The moon is big, but its most valuable locations are small. Without clear and agreed-upon rules for everyone, there is a real danger of misunderstandings, accidents, and even direct confrontation. Former NASA officials and space experts have warned that we need to act carefully to avoid this outcome. The goal should be exploration and science for all humanity, not a competition for land and power. The decisions we make today will determine whether the moon becomes a symbol of global cooperation or a new arena for human conflict. It is a choice that we must make together. Fortunately, we are not starting from scratch when it comes to rules for space. Back in 1967, at the height of the first space race between the United States and the Soviet Union, the world came together to create a foundational set of principles. This is called the Outer Space Treaty, and it has been signed by almost every spacefaring nation, including the US, Russia, and China. It is the cornerstone of space law and was created to ensure that space would be a peaceful place for all. The treaty was a remarkable achievement, a moment when rival nations agreed to put the good of humanity first. The most important idea in the Outer Space Treaty is that outer space, including the moon and other celestial bodies, is not subject to national appropriation. This means that no country can claim sovereignty over the moon or any part of it by saying, "This is ours." You cannot plant a flag and declare that you own a piece of the moon, just as you cannot claim to own a piece of the high seas. The treaty declares that space is the province of all mankind, meaning it belongs to everyone, and its exploration should be carried out for the benefit and in the interests of all countries. This principle is designed to prevent a land grab in space. The treaty also has other very important rules. It bans placing nuclear weapons or any other weapons of mass destruction in orbit or on celestial bodies like the moon. It states that the moon and other celestial bodies shall be used exclusively for peaceful purposes. Military bases, weapons testing, and military maneuvers are forbidden. This was a crucial step to prevent the Cold War from extending into the heavens. The treaty ensures that astronauts are seen as envoys of mankind and says that all countries must help them in case of an accident, distress, or emergency landing. It promotes a spirit of cooperation and mutual assistance. However, the Outer Space Treaty was written over 50 years ago, long before we knew about valuable resources like water ice on the moon or the possibility of private companies mining them. Because of this, the treaty has a big grey area. It says a country cannot own the moon, but it doesn't clearly say whether a country or a company can own the resources they extract from the moon. Does digging up water ice and using it count as appropriation? This lack of clarity is at the heart of the legal debates we are having today. The old rulebook is a good start, but it may not be enough to manage the new, more complex activities we are planning for the 21st century. To address the gaps in the Outer Space Treaty, different groups have proposed new sets of rules. The United States is leading an effort called the Artemis Accords. These are not a formal treaty, but a set of non-binding agreements between countries that are partnering on the Artemis program. As of November 2025, 56 nations have signed on. The accords lay out a set of principles for peaceful and transparent exploration, such as sharing scientific data, helping astronauts in distress, and properly disposing of space debris. They are an attempt to build a coalition of like-minded nations that agree on how to behave on and around the moon. One of the most important and controversial parts of the Artemis Accords deals with space resources. Section 10 of the Accord states that extracting and using resources from the moon does not inherently constitute national appropriation. This means that the US and its partners believe that while you can't own the land on the moon, you can own the rocks or ice you dig up. The Accords also propose the idea of safety zones, which would allow a country to create a temporary exclusion area around its operations to prevent interference. Critics worry that these zones could be used to claim control over resource-rich areas, which might violate the spirit of the Outer Space Treaty. Long before the Artemis Accords, the United Nations proposed another treaty in 1979 called the Moon Agreement. This agreement goes much further in trying to regulate lunar resources. It states that the moon and its natural resources are the common heritage of mankind. More importantly, it calls for the creation of an international regime, like a global organization, to govern the exploitation of these resources when it becomes feasible. The idea is that the benefits of lunar mining should be shared among all nations, including those that do not have their own space programs. This approach is very different from the find it, keep it idea suggested by the Artemis Accords. The problem is that the Moon Agreement has not been very popular. It has been signed and ratified by only a small number of countries, and crucially, none of the major spacefaring nations, not the United States, not China, and not Russia, have signed it. They were unwilling to agree to a system that would limit their ability to use the resources they find. This leaves us in a difficult situation. We have the widely accepted but vague Outer Space Treaty, the US-led Artemis Accords that many but not all countries agree with, and the detailed but largely ignored Moon Agreement. This patchwork of rules means there is no single, clear path forward that everyone has agreed to follow. Even with all the talk of a new space race and competition, there are powerful examples of how working together in space can bring out the best in humanity. For over 2 decades, the International Space Station has been a shining symbol of global cooperation. Astronauts and cosmonauts from the United States, Russia, Europe, Japan, and Canada have lived and worked together peacefully in orbit, even when their governments have had disagreements on the ground. The ISS shows us that when we focus on a common goal, like scientific discovery, we can overcome political differences. It is a floating embassy for humanity, a testament to what we can achieve through partnership. This spirit of cooperation is not entirely lost in the new lunar race. While the US and China are leading separate competing efforts, some countries are trying to be a bridge between them. For example, nations like Thailand and Senegal have made an interesting choice. They have signed the US-led Artemis Accords, agreeing to its principles for lunar exploration. At the same time, they are also involved as partners in China's International Lunar Research Station project. By participating in both major programs, these countries can act as channels for communication and diplomacy, helping to ensure that the two blocs do not become completely isolated from each other. They show that it is possible to be friends with everyone. Finding ways to cooperate is not just a nice idea, it is mandatory for our success and safety in space. As I have argued, trying to create a Wild West on the Moon is not a viable option. The environment is too harsh, and the risks are too high for any one nation to go it alone. Building bases, mining resources, and ensuring the safety of astronauts will require sharing information, coordinating activities, and developing common standards. Replicating infrastructure and competing for every resource would be incredibly wasteful and dangerous. A global, collaborative effort is the most logical and effective way to expand humanity's footprint beyond Earth peacefully and sustainably. The benefits of cooperation extend far beyond the Moon. Working together on grand projects in space can help us solve problems here on Earth. Space exploration provides powerful incentives for nations to act as partners, fostering diplomacy and trust. The technologies developed for space can help us monitor our climate, manage natural disasters, and connect the world through better communication. By choosing collaboration over conflict in space, we can create a positive cycle of progress and goodwill that benefits everyone. The sky does not have to be a new battleground. It can be a vast arena for peaceful human achievement. As we stand on the cusp of this new lunar era, we have a choice to make. Will we carry our earthly rivalries and conflicts to the moon, or will we rise to the occasion and work together as one human family? The moon has always been a symbol of unity, a constant presence in the night sky for every person on Earth, no matter where they live. It does not belong to any one nation or any single generation. It is our shared heritage and our shared future. The decisions we make in the coming years will define our relationship with the cosmos for centuries to come. Let us choose a path of peace, cooperation, and shared discovery. The race to the moon can be a race where everyone wins. Healthy competition can spur innovation, pushing us to develop better technology and achieve our goals faster. But this competition must happen within a framework of cooperation and mutual respect. We need to come together as a global community to create clear, fair, and universally accepted rules for living and working on the Moon. We must build on the foundation of the Outer Space Treaty and adapt it for the challenges of the 21st century, ensuring that the benefits of space exploration are shared by all of humanity, not just a privileged few. Imagine a future where an American astronaut from the Artemis base camp visits her colleagues at the International Lunar Research Station, sharing data and working together on a scientific breakthrough. Imagine rovers from different countries coordinating their movements to explore a vast crater, or an international rescue mission saving an astronaut in distress, regardless of the flag on their spacesuit. This is not a distant dream. It is a possible reality if we choose to build it. Space offers us a unique opportunity to see beyond our borders and recognize our common identity as inhabitants of a small, precious planet. The journey back to the Moon and onward to Mars is the great adventure of our time. It is a challenge that will test our technology, our courage, and most importantly, our wisdom. Let us embrace this challenge not as rivals, but as partners. Let us go to the Moon to unlock its scientific secrets, to learn how to live on other worlds, and to be inspired by the view of our beautiful blue Earth from afar. By working together in the vastness of space, we can learn how to live better together here on Earth. The Moon is calling to us again, and this time, we should go together.